At 3,000 feet below the ocean, oxygen nearly disappears, yet something called the vampire squid waits there, alive. Its name suggests a blood-drinking hunter, but almost everything about that name is wrong, and the truth is far stranger. In the black mid-water, a dark shape drifts without urgency, as if gravity and fear have both loosened their grip. Then the vehicle's lights catch two enormous blue eyes, a red body, and a cloak stretched between 8 arms. Scientists call it Vampiroteuthis infernalis, a name meaning the vampire squid from hell, inspired more by appearance than behavior. It does not drink blood, stalk divers, or tear apart large prey. In fact, it is one of the ocean's gentlest scavengers. It is not a true squid or an octopus, but the last living representative of an ancient cephalopod lineage. That lineage reaches back roughly 165 million years, making this animal a survivor from a very different ocean. Despite its frightening reputation, an adult is usually no longer than about 30 centimeters from mantle to arm tips. Its dark reddish color is another illusion. In deep water where red light vanishes, that body appears almost completely black. Its eyes are proportionally among the largest known in the animal kingdom, built to detect the faintest traces of light. Between its arms hangs a velvety web, forming the cape that made early observers imagine a creature from Gothic legend. Rows of pale structures line the webbed arms, but they are soft cirri, not teeth, claws, or venomous spines. The vampire squid is most often found between 600 and 900 meters beneath tropical and temperate seas. This region is called the oxygen minimum zone, a layer where many active animals cannot breathe efficiently for very long. For most creatures, entering this water means slowing down, turning back, or dying. For the vampire squid, it means home. Its blood contains hemocyanin, an oxygen-carrying pigment with an unusually strong ability to capture the little oxygen available. Large gill surfaces help extract more oxygen from each movement of water passing quietly through the animal's mantle. But the vampire squid's greatest advantage is not strength or speed, it is the ability to live on very little. It has the slowest metabolism measured among cephalopods, allowing each small meal to power its body for much longer. Its soft, gelatinous tissues are close to seawater density, so it can remain suspended without constantly swimming. Small fins gently flap near the mantle, steering the animal while it drifts through darkness with remarkable energy efficiency. That efficiency matters because the deep sea offers no fields, forests, or reliable schools of prey, only scattered opportunities. Far above, life at the surface is constantly dying, shedding, feeding, and producing waste that begins to sink. Together, these falling fragments are called marine snow, dead plankton, mucus, fecal material, scales, and other organic debris. To us, it sounds like refuse. To the deep ocean, marine snow is a slow, continuous delivery of energy. The vampire squid carries 2 feeding filaments so thin that they can disappear against the darkness around its body. Each filament can extend many times the animal's length, drifting outward like an almost invisible fishing line. A coating of adhesive mucus catches tiny food particles as currents move the filament through clouds of marine snow. The squid does not chase the food. It waits, conserving oxygen while the ocean quietly brings the meal closer. When enough material collects, the animal retracts the filament and draws it carefully across the underside of its arms. Suckers and soft cirri scrape off the trapped particles, gathering them without the violent strike used by predatory squid. More mucus binds the particles together into a compact mass, sometimes described by researchers as a mucus food ball. The bundle is slowly carried toward the mouth, hidden beneath the web where the 8 arms meet. This makes the vampire squid the only known living cephalopod whose primary lifestyle is scavenging rather than hunting live prey. It survives not by dominating the food chain, but by consuming what the brighter world above has already discarded. That humble diet also links the surface to the abyss, helping move organic carbon deeper through the ocean's interior. Even in its low-oxygen refuge, the vampire squid is not completely safe. Hunger can bring larger hunters into the darkness. Fish, sharks, whales, sea lions, and other cephalopods have all been recorded feeding on vampire squid. When danger approaches, the animal does not reveal hidden fangs. Instead, it transforms its own silhouette. It raises its arms above the head, stretching the cape around the body in a defensive maneuver called the pineapple pose. Then the cloak turns partly inside out, hiding the vulnerable mantle and exposing the pale cirri along the arms. The result looks larger, stranger, and more difficult to swallow, an illusion designed to make a predator hesitate. Those cirri may resemble spikes in dim light, but they remain flexible flesh used for touch and handling food. Unlike many squid and octopuses, the vampire squid does not have a conventional ink cloud to hide behind in darkness. Instead, light-producing organs at the arm tips can glow and pulse with an intense blue bioluminescence. In total darkness, those moving points of light may confuse a hunter about the animal's size, direction, or exact position. If the threat continues, the vampire squid can release a sticky, luminous cloud into the surrounding water. The luminous cloud acts like a deep-sea smokescreen, distracting the attacker while the squid moves away. It may even leave the predator illuminated, turning the hunter into a visible target within the darkness. Escape doesn't always happen without damage. A bitten arm tip can later regenerate, replacing tissue lost to a predator. Its life cycle is just as unusual. Unlike most cephalopods, females can reproduce repeatedly instead of spawning only once. They release relatively small batches of eggs, conserving energy between reproductive periods in an environment where food is unreliable. Newly hatched vampire squid begin with a large head, short arms, and a body that changes dramatically as it grows. Juveniles possess 4 fins on the mantle, giving them a shape so different from the adults seen by early scientists. As the animal matures, 1 pair of fins is reabsorbed, leaving the 2 fins visible on an adult. Different growth stages looked so unrelated that researchers once classified them as several separate species instead of one. Today, deep-diving remotely operated vehicles allow scientists to watch these animals alive rather than studying damaged specimens from nets. The species occurs across tropical and temperate oceans, yet its dark habitat means most people will never see one. Scientists are also studying it because warming oceans are expanding many low-oxygen zones and altering deep-sea ecosystems. This low-oxygen specialist might sound like a beneficiary, but changing habitats can disrupt food, predators, and entire ocean communities. The vampire squid is therefore more than a curiosity. It is a living instrument for understanding survival under extreme conditions.
Its terrifying name hides a quiet animal that survives through patience, efficiency, scavenging, camouflage, and carefully controlled light. And perhaps that's the real mystery. How many supposed monsters are only creatures we have not observed closely enough?